Here's an interesting story. So, Bernie Sanders had responded to some questions about his wife being under FBI investigation, and this is something interesting. So I was reading this Alan Dershowitz article. Dershowitz doesn't like Sanders, but because he's been under so much heat for defending Trump's obstruction of justice, he's trying to now use this case to help him out in terms of making false equivalence, essentially. But I'm going to read you some of this. He says, quote, "It is important to note that the driving force behind calls for an investigation into Sanders has been attorney Brady Tonsing, the vice chair of the Vermont Republican Party and Donald Trump's Vermont campaign chair." So think about this. Literally, the vice chair of the Vermont Republican Party and the Trump Vermont campaign chair is trying to get criminal charges on the Sanders family, whether it's Jane or whether it's Bernie, because it has them both in there. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. A Trump attorney is trying to go after Sanders and his wife on criminal charges. So here's what they say. It was what Alan Dershowitz says. This is his op-ed. In a 4-page letter addressed to the United States Attorney for the District of Vermont, Tonsing stated, quote, "Ms. Sanders' privileged status as the wife of a powerful United States Senator seems to have inoculated her from the robust underwriting that would have uncovered the apparent fraudulent donation claims she made." He continued to argue, "This privileged status, however, should not inoculate her from the scrutiny, culpability, and accountability of a federal investigation. Now, the Republican National Committee is circulating an attack memo against Sanders that is reminiscent of the attack memos against Trump circulated by the Democratic National Committee." And then he goes on to whine about Bernie Sanders supposedly associating himself with anti-Semites, even though he's a Jewish person himself. It's fucking idiots. But anyway, case in point, if Alan Dershowitz, someone who doesn't like Bernie Sanders, and someone who's fraudulent enough to really be supporting Trump when he's been obstructing justice, it's pretty crazy, because that means that this is in such a bad situation. And just from sensible thought, right? I mean, this is pretty crazy that literally the Trump Vermont chair is bringing upon charges, attempting to criminally charge them for supposed fraudulent statement of donations. What's up, guys? It's Saul Hill here. You guys are watching The Progressive Voice. Make sure you guys click subscribe down below. We're fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail, and we need your help.